Hello and welcome to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. If you're joining us on YouTube and watching the stream, hello YouTubers. If you've got us on in the background, we're going to be a sort of an audio soundscape that you can iron to or cook to or do whatever it is that you're doing right now. If you're sitting down watching us on your telly, wow, my head must be so big. Anyway, I'm going to introduce all of you guys. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
Hello, Duncan.
Hello.
Hello, Russ.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
I am, of course, Tom. If you're listening to us on the actual podcast on Spotify or Apple or whatever podcatcher you're listening to on the moment, hello as well. You are just as important. If not, you are what we would like to refer to as the original posse. Anyway, this session is going to be news and what we've been up to, because we haven't done that in a while. So I'm going to hand over to Dan, because he is the man with the news. And of course, this is his favourite format, whichever way he is.
Fucking love news. The 20 minutes before
Mouse.
the 20 minutes before the actual podcast, where I sit down and just like copy and paste some links and pretend I've read.
IGN.com.
That's what it is. GN.com.
People don't come to us for the news; they come to us for the hot opinion.
Yeah,
I found some news, by the way. Yeah.
I'm
It's very drunk at the
opinion
time.
all over your chest right now. Let's do this. So
Is that what you did in the toilet as well?
Yep. So it's
Dead air is a crime. Dead air is a crime. Come on.
right. Has everyone seen the new Coca-Cola commercial?
No.
Okay. Watch the new Coca-Cola commercial, because it is directed by Taika Waititi.
Oh, right, okay. I was expecting you to say it in a bad way. I thought they managed to top Pepsi's Black Lives Matter commercial in terms of awfulness, but this sounds actually quite good.
This is fucking excellent. So it hit me right in the feels, for starters. It's it starts with a kid hands her dad a letter. He's going to work on an oil rig, and it's a letter to Santa, and he promises that he's going to deliver it. All of this is visual. There's no speaking in it. It's all to music. So then he's on the oil rig and he's got the letter, and he sees the whatever's picking up the post leave before he's had a chance to send it in. So he hops in like a boat. The boat sinks, so he swims, and then it's like this story about him going through like the deserts and going through like different landscapes to deliver this letter to Santa in the North Pole. And he delivers the letter to Santa, and that's when the Coke lorry turns up and gives him a lift home. And as he's leaving to get home, the door opens and his daughter's there. And you see a hand deliver the letter. And he opens up the letter and it says, "I would like my daddy to be home for Christmas." And then driving away, you see it's Santa driving the Coke lorry. It is fucking excellent, and I nearly cried. Like, I am not even joking. This thing is amazing.
I still don't get how have Coca-Cola managed to sort of get in the idea that, Santa works for us.
They've always had that, though. He is Santa's on the Coca-Cola pay check.
Taking that
probably furloughed right now.
Sweet brown dollar.
So I just want to say that
Santa does distance working anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah,
sorry, Tom.
He does, yeah, it's long distance.
But the elves are pretty much in a sweatshop, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Pretty much. I was just going to say, your narration and storytelling there was like listening to Andy Serkis reading, War of the Worlds. It was vivid, and your oaky timbre was like mahogany being poured into my bed sheets. It was just wonderful.
What do you want?
Huh?
What do you want?
Your balloon knot.
Oh, cool. Anyway, that wraps it up quite nicely. This is a really
Thanks
good.
for listening to the Too Much Time. Sorry, you said it wrapped it up.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, cool.
So the big news this week is, of course, the release of the next gen consoles. As we're recording, the PS5 comes out tomorrow, and the Xbox came out yesterday. So Sony are revealing their plans for PlayStation Plus after the PS5's release. Basically, it looks like you'll get 2 PS4 games and 1 PS5 game a month, so it won't be much different. The PS5 game, however, looks like it's going to be bug snacks for the foreseeable future, which people are going apeshit over.
That is the only PS5 title, isn't it, at the moment? bugs.
There's loads. PlayStation seem to have a fair few exclusives. Like I'm gonna take a step back from the console wars and say that
as in that's the only one currently available. Is that right?
Demon Souls remaster comes out with the PlayStation tomorrow. Yep.
There are remarkably few launch games knocking about this time, aren't there?
It's Demon Souls remastered. They've
it's still an old game that they have remastered. There's not much in the way of like. Look at these amazing new games.
Stands up for PlayStation, please. Like, okay, and also
so not remotely arguing about that, but you cannot say that a remaster of an old game is a new game to go with your new console. There aren't many new games this time round.
Okay.
Actually, I would argue that along with Russ, actually, just purely on a pedantic level, that a remaster I can't class as a new game. A remake, certainly.
It's a ground-up remake.
A ground-up remake.
Yeah.
So why are they calling it remastered? Because that doesn't mean the same.
Is it the same game with the same characters and the same plot and everything?
But yeah, it's the same game.
Right. So it's not new then. Why aren't there any new games?
Okay, Miles Morales is coming out with it as well. Spider-Man Miles Morales.
But is that not so I genuinely don't know the answer to this. Is that not just like an iteration of the current Spider-Man game?
It's a 15-hour version. It's like a 1.5.
Right. So it's not a complete new game, is it?
No.
And like Xbox is no better. There's not much in the way of new games on the Xbox either, are there? It just seems to be a thing for this console generation.
But Halo Infinite was what they were relying quite heavily on Halo Infinite being a thing.
Well, there's always a Halo game, isn't there?
Box. Like it's very rarely a Halo game. I think it was only the actual initial console release that had Halo on launch.
Halo 3 was out quite at the beginning of the 360, wasn't it?
But I want to get back to why you're trying to defend PlayStation so much in this. I don't understand why.
For the record, I don't give a shit.
Wanting to defend them.
No, I've reached a zen state where I'm perfectly comfortable with the way I play games and the things I play games on. So,
and the 6 hours a day you spend on forums going, no, a remake is in fact a completely new piece of software and therefore it is a new game.
I won't think about it past this conversation. Let me put it that way. But like, if people want to play PlayStation, that's fine. If people want to play Xbox,
how
fine.
come you have an Xbox already and you don't have a PS5 yet?
Because PS5 comes out tomorrow, and I'm not going to get a PlayStation because it's for nonsense. But
so if you're going to defend them so much, why would you call them nonsense?
I'm joking. It's really not. Okay.
I don't know. This doesn't seem like news, Dan. This seems like a personal vendetta against I don't know who.
Yeah.
It started off.
So we are currently, like, as we record, we are currently keeping you from playing on your Xbox Series X, aren't we?
Well, yeah. I was a bit worried about Dan last night because we did do the Gridiron Gents. And I know
come on, Scores, let's do this. Come on, chop.
Get out here in a tight 5.
I'm worried that a lot of places that have small streets might not be able to get the van needed to transport individual PS5.
It is honking massive. I've measured my my like TV cabinet thing. Neither of them will fit in there. Literally. Well, I mean, there's only 2 of them, but neither of them will get into like in the lying down position where the Xbox currently is. They just won't fit in there.
There was a report as well. I've got it here somewhere. That the PlayStation was originally set to be even bigger.
I saw that. All it was like one of the designers say, "Oh, I originally drew it a lot bigger," and then the engineers told me that it didn't need to be that big. So it was never actually going to be bigger. It was like the version 1.1 drawing of what it could look like was bigger.
So Dan, how do you defend that decision?
What I'll say, I'm just going to ignore you. And what I'll say is that there is a clear difference in the design of how the Xbox was designed and how the PlayStation was designed. Like, the PlayStation was designed by people that wanted to design a pretty console, I think. They had an idea and they were going to make it work no matter what.
In my opinion, they failed in that. It doesn't look pretty. It looks dated already.
But some people like it.
I agree with Dan there. I think it was designed by some people who wanted to make a pretty console.
Yeah.
But also, as Russ said, failed abysmally.
No, that's 100% subjective. That is my opinion. I don't like it. I'm sure there are people that do, and that's fine.
The PlayStation or the Xbox?
Wikipedia page.
The PlayStation.
It is
Oh,
the
no, I
ugliest
think
console ever created.
I think it's really ugly. Don't get me wrong.
It looks
But-
exactly the same as the orange broadband router that I had in 2002.
But it was clearly designed by people that were trying to do something different with it, like by a designer, not by an engineer. Whereas the Xbox was clearly designed by an engineer that went, how can we keep this as cool as possible in the easiest possible way?
Mesh with a little green light.
Oblong? Yeah, just an oblong. Like just an
Black
oblong.
plastic.
It's not.
That pushes
Dan,
fat
can
up.
you
Yeah.
confirm this? The green glow at the top is not actually a light, is it?
No, it's very cleverly
I'm buying
painted
a
on
buying
the
a
inside.
PlayStation.
It looks amazing though, because like it's done. It's like an optical illusion more than anything. It's very, very good.
If it's not glowing with something, I'm not interested. I'm getting the PlayStation that glows blue.
How
One of
can
the
it be an
news.
optical illusion if it's just painted on?
Look, Ross has got
Because
glowing.
the way the paint
works,
has gone on there makes
yeah.
it look like it's one colour, but it's actually not.
It looks like it's glowing, but it's paint. Okay.
Okay,
It's like someone's taken a picture of a light bulb and printed it on the inside of the box.
it's amazing. That's amazing. Does our Ewan McGregor showing up on the show count as an optical illusion?
Why would that be an optical illusion?
Crawled
He
into
was
your
he
pants
was
today, Tom.
he was there talking to us. How?
What?
That's not an illusion. That's just a guy talking
That's
to us
just
on
a
the camera.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
Anyway,
Dan?
what crawled into your pants today, Tom? You argumentative prick. What's going
Oh,
on?
nothing. It's funny. You said you wanted to stay apart from the console wars, so I thought I'd
Yeah.
poke you until you had to get.
If we can spend the next hour and a half winding you up to the point where you then get off this, go to your Xbox, like, well, I don't even fucking want to play it now.
No, I think
Stupid painted on green glow.
I think that both
Wasting my money.
consoles is it's perfectly valid to have either console. You can either choose the Xbox or make the wrong decision. That's up to you.
You heard it here
It's-
first on the
it's,
Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. You are allowed to buy whatever console you want.
Yeah.
That's
You will
fine,
be
'cause
wrong.
Dan said so.
This one,
You will be wrong if you buy the PlayStation.
I realise I'm like way out of line with what most Xbox users are actually looking for, but this doesn't have HDMI pass through, does it?
No,
Yeah, that's actually
because
slightly
you are
annoying.
the only person that uses it.
I use the Xbox for everything. It's like it's all of our media stuff is done through the Xbox because we don't have a smart TV. So
I used it
what else
because
am I
I
meant to do?
needed
Buy a
get into this
Smart TV.
decade at some point. Maybe I don't know. That's
I mean, I'm thinking of ways to broach the subject that we need a new telly because I want it is too small. My eyes aren't what they used to be, and now I can't read the text in video games from my couch.
like
Yes, I
yeah.
can't do that either.
It's so fucking
can't.
tiny.
No,
neither can
Dishonored
I.
2. I was playing
The
Dishonored 2
average-
recently, and I could not read a fucking word.
the average size of a TV nowadays is 50 inches.
Really?
mean, that's
Ours is
ridiculous.
32.
Ah,
Yeah.
so the same size as my cock. Fair news.
I think it's like I don't even know what
I
it is. I
can
think it might be
confirm
like
Tom can't get outdoors.
Can barely stand up.
Unbelievable.
it must be 37. Our telly at home is smaller than the monitor I have on my desk at work, and I sit 4 inches away from that.
Can you? I'll tell you what.
4 inches.
That is
It's
regulation.
So-
the size of.
Bonus. But it's
What average?
Russ. If you can angle the TV through the window so it's facing the window, I'll kind of walk past, lob a brick through your window, and then run off shouting, "Russ wanted me to do this, Shah," and then just leg it. Yeah. And I might hit your TV.
Can't you do a, insurance kind of thing? that you
Insurance
don't-
fraud.
No,
Your
no,
best way of
not
doing that is
frauds,
announcing that
but
on
if,
YouTube.
but if you're fiddling around behind it and you accidentally knock it off the front of your TV cabinet, then you can ring up and say, "Oh, just happened." Well, it won't affect your premium that much.
I know we've had it for like 6 or 7 years. It's probably time for a new one. It's not 4K. It's not 60 FPS or anything like that.
I really want a new TV as well.
You just got a new TV.
No, mine's about 5 years old now.
We've got a nice one, an LG one, 4K smart TV, very nice. We've had it for a few years now. It's very, very nice.
Mine's 4K. I just want that
We've
120
got
FPS.
Samsung.
I think that'll do. I'll
Samsung.
get the new Xbox, and then it'll be like, well, but we're going to have to get a new telly, otherwise we won't be able to watch Netflix.
Aha, there we
I'm
go.
not being funny. All of you guys have kids. Just like, oh, I can't believe what they did.
That does happen on a basically daily basis.
Oh no, the TV's broken. Looks like it's been stamped on several times by Boots. The
Our TV's
Windows
up
11
on the
Anyway,
wall.
I feel we're getting a bit inside baseball here. Come on, news us off.
Cool. So the PlayStation reviews are in, and they are very positive, and the Xbox reviews are in, and they are very positive, and people like the consoles because they are essentially doing exactly what people expect them to do. 4K, they load up very quickly, and higher frame rates. That's basically what you're getting from the console.
If you've
Tom,
got a telly that
had a-
can show 60 frames a second.
Mine does.
I know, but most people's don't.
I don't know anymore, Russ.
Well, I think if you were to look at all tellies in the world, most of them probably don't. It's a rare because you've got to have that HDMI 2 point something, haven't you?
No, not for 60 FPS.
Oh, that's only for HDR type
120
stuff, isn't
yeah,
it?
that's and 120 FPS. Yeah. But yeah, so people like PlayStation people like PlayStation, Xbox people like the Xbox.
Oh, get whichever one you want and don't talk to us about it.
Yeah, well, if
Well,
you
no,
get
do
the
talk to us,
PlayStation-
please.
Yeah. Yes, please talk to us.
Well, so
Especially
we're
Dan.
going to tail every news story now with a. So, what do you think about this exciting story
Yeah,
about the two
like and
consoles
subscribe,
available
and-
right
And then we
now?
will sit here in
Subscribe.
grim silence until somebody phones to talk to us about it.
Game crew, over to you.
Drop your feelings in the comments below, or head over
Yeah.
to any one of our Instagram,
Guys.
Twitter,
Duncan
or,
busting out yet another
Facebook.
highly relevant and widely understood reference to Grace's Amazing Machines there.
Was
That's
that
a
what
Game
it is?
Crew.
Right, next
Fucking
news
hell.
story. Keep
Yes.
the top line.
Okay,
House.
Dungeons and Dragons. There's a new book coming out called Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, and I
Yeah.
personally am very excited about it. There are big changes to the Artificer, and yes, this is news now because it's something I do. So
Is
it's
it Artificer or is it Artificer?
Artificer.
Artificer. I think it would be. I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm going to be able to swap spells out on a daily basis now.
Really?
I think
That's
so.
something that's changing for
I'm pretty
Rangers?
sure. Yeah, it's happening for most people. Like you can there's for some people it's like a spell, or for other people it's
Yeah.
something else. But basically you can like have something that you can change on every
I
24 hours.
know Sarah's Fey Wanderer is going to become a bit of a badass now.
Because that was all UA stuff before, wasn't it?
Yeah. So like this is I can see people tuning out now. It's her Dreadful Strikes was a bonus action and now it's not. So she can in one turn Hunter's Mark, Dreadful Strike, and attack twice as well. So like that's pretty awesome.
What can rogues do?
Well, I don't know yet. They've not mentioned much from rogues. Rogues are pretty damn good already, so they might not change much there.
Yeah, man, I'm having flashbacks to that like 28-point hit.
Exactly, right?
That was awesome.
Is there anything in it for druids?
I don't know yet. Maybe.
No.
I
Druids
think
are lame.
there's pretty much something in it for everybody.
Yeah, no,
Not
fuck
healing
off.
you ever again.
I'm kidding. I love Phalorn and his big gangly animal loving.
Um,
Yep, damn right you do. I'll heal
so-
you now.
But the reason I wanted to mention Artificer is that now from level 2 they get the homunculus, so they get like a little robot friend if they want to come and help
Oh,
them out. with
homunculus was that thing in the jar that sat on Doctor. Was it Doctor Thingy's shelf? Mad scientist, isn't that a thing in a jar? A
Yeah,
homunculus?
homunculus it's like a little person, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like a little scientific-y
Oh,
in a
also,
bottle creature.
Peep Show
Duncan's left.
reference. Peep Show
Yeah,
reference.
sorry.
He's just fucked off, isn't he? Where's he?
Oh, I've got some. I started.
Duncan, if you're
this
going for a
ages
piss, hit the mute button.
ago. No, it's just the Xbox. That's all. Like I thought ages ago. Oh, I might try and play something to be relevant for tonight.
Yeah, but
This
not
is doing-
whilst you're recording though.
I started this over an hour ago, and it's still updating stuff.
So you thought you just run off and check?
No,
All right,
because
let's-
it was
we'll
just
put a pin in this
fucking
delightful
around.
argument and finish this when the podcast stopped.
Fucking yeah, you can get
Just-
your wages docked on this one.
Just on homunculi, isn't that it's the name of the Peep Show, the band that when Jeremy ends up becoming like an A&R man for an episode, he says that he'll only sign Superhands' band if they change their name to Danny Dyer's Chocolate Homunculus, which always pleases me because he just kind of like goes, I don't know, Danny Dyer's Chocolate Covered Homunculus. It's great. Anyway, carry on with whatever news you were
Okay.
doing next.
more PS5 news. You can't attach an external hard drive to it, which
To
isn't
what?
good news.
I thought the PS5 people were crowing that they could just use easier to access storage than the like super expensive special expandy thing for the Xbox.
So no, the PlayStation with the Xbox, you can currently use a USB 3 drive. You just can't play.
You can't play stuff off
optimized-
that, can you?
You can play stuff off it. You just can't play games that are optimized for the Series X.
Yeah, and so if you want to buy the special NVMe thingy, it's really expensive.
It's £200.
That
for a 1 terabyte, right.
that should come down because that form factor was basically only being used by like super professional video cameras before.
But Gen 4 has only just come out, and that's essentially what it is.
I mean, like the physical, like the cartridge shape thing.
Yeah, but
it's just
essentially
a box standard hard drive inside it. Yeah, with some
it's
cool
essentially just
architecture.
an M.2 Gen 4 drive thing.
But the sort of the unit thing was it was used by certain like really proper high end cameras, but nobody else. So there's a really small market for it, so they're really expensive.
So PlayStation. But currently with the Xbox, what you can do is just transfer games between your hard drive and the internal hard drive as well. So PlayStation, you can't do that at the moment. You can't use an external hard drive to store games and then just transfer them over to the even smaller SSD that they've got in the PlayStation, which is concerning. Now, what you have got in there is you have got an M.2 drive in the an expandable M.2 drive in the actual PlayStation that you can put in, but they haven't.
So you haven't got a drive, you've got a slot, or do you have a drive to start with?
No, you've
but
got
you can
a
swap
slot
it for a bigger one.
You've got a slot for an M.2 drive.
Just like a stat, like go to Curry's and buy one off the shelf type.
Except they haven't announced which ones are going to work with it.
Yeah, because there's always some compatibility.
Because it's going to be Gen 4 for starters, but they haven't even announced which of the Gen 4 ones are going to work with it. Which means that you're probably looking at about £200, I'd say, for a 1 terabyte hard drive.
But like,
again,
this is all just sort of it's teething problems that are sort of fixable in software. And
what are you two pricks laughing at?
Who's got that many games? There's no fucking games to the thing anyway. So surely nobody's filled up their hard drive yet.
I moved Call of Duty Warzone to it, and I started thinking I might need another hard drive.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I can, to go sort of devil's out, I can kind of see where they're coming from in that if everything's so cloud based and everyone's got such fast broadband anyway, you don't need to keep 200 games on your system at any one time. You have the 2 or 3 that you're playing on there, and the rest are on the cloud. But
so,
some people don't want to do it like that.
One of the easiest things I did with the Xbox was just like load everything onto these external hard drives and then just plug them in, transfer them back over. And admittedly, it wasn't amazingly easy because then it went, we need updates for all of these games now. But with PlayStation, you can't do that. You can't just transfer them over to an external hard drive and then just plug them into your new PS5. So you need to re-download them, which isn't ideal. What the fuck were you two pricks laughing at?
Well, no, Duncan was sitting there with his hand like this, and I copied him, and then I think me and him just started watching each other, and because I could see him laughing, I started laughing, and before I knew it, we were both laughing and shaking, and it was just a thing that was happening on the side.
I think what it means is they were paying rapt attention to you, Dan.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
It was
You
stuff
said
about
something about
M.2
some
drives and
slots.
solid states and game transfers and how the PS5 won't necessarily be the easiest thing to do that with. And
PS5 is still shit.
good stuff.
So
it's good
it's not
stuff.
as good as Xbox. Is basically what you said.
No, that's not what I said.
Isn't that what you said, Tom? He basically
that's
said
not what I said.
PS5.
It does sound like something Dan would say.
In glorious Xbox news, however, you now get 30 days free of Disney Plus with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
Geez, they're farming Disney Plus out everywhere. If you sign a new O2 contract, you get Disney
6
Plus
months.
for 6 months.
Yeah.
I personally, I think that's great. I think that's really nice to have that.
Yes.
We watch. I was watching Disney Plus on the Xbox because I thought I couldn't get the app anywhere else until I realised that you can actually download that sort of thing to a smart TV. And I don't know why I had this kind of brain bubble where I was like, I don't think you can do this on this TV.
I'm sure
not
Disney
going
won't
to
have
try.
wanted to make this available in as many forms as possible.
Yeah, it's only on
No,
the
they're not
Xbox.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon fuck you over with that, don't they? Though, like you like for the longest time, you couldn't get Prime anyway, except for the Fire Sticks.
Exactly. Oh, but speaking of which, on Prime, I've just noticed that the 3 good Indiana Jones films have just landed on Prime.
The
to
only
watch
3
free.
Indiana Jones films are on Prime.
No, the 3 good Indiana Jones films: Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade.
Nice.
So there's
I'm
some
not missing-
actual news that looks quite interesting.
I'm not missing a good Indiana Jones film out, am I?
No,
There.
not at all.
No, you're not missing any Indiana Jones
I'm not
films at
missing
all.
any
Al.
Indiana Jones. No, not at all.
That was it.
I was
Just
sure
those
Kate
3
Blanchett
films.
was in one of them as a Soviet.
That was a
But
deleted scene from something.
I thought it was
no,
a
that
dream.
didn't happen. You're
A
thinking
dream.
of Lord of the Rings.
Ah, that's right. Yes, she
Yeah.
was Galadriel, was she not?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yes, there we go.
he was a
yeah.
Nazi, obviously.
She was a Nazi elf. I mean, they're all about racial purity, then, aren't they? So, you know,
Fucking elves. So yeah,
don't marry a human, otherwise you will.
There were
you know,
3
die.
unions of man and elf, so yeah, they all a bit.
here's some fun news because I'm just going to move on. Leslie Headland from the showrunner of Russian Doll has been given her own Disney Plus Star Wars TV series to be showrunner of.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we know anything? I mean, I'm in, but do we know anything else about it?
I'm reading it now. Confirmed to be in the works earlier this year, the currently untitled series is set to be a martial arts thriller following a female protagonist within a point in time that's largely been unexplored in the Star Wars universe.
This is exactly what I want out of Disney. Thank
Fucking
you.
yes, exactly. Wouldn't say it's in a pocket of the universe, I would say it's in a pocket of the universe and a pocket of the timeline that we don't know much about.
Ooh,
It's a-
I mean,
Republic?
that's-
This is, I
that
think
could
people
be
are finally
anything.
getting the idea that these things don't have to be remotely connected to anything that happened in the main films.
And
Do you know what would
also,
be quite exciting would be
What?
to, you know, if you've played Knights of the Old Republic 2, you might remember the Ashani Handmaiden, one of several Ashani handmaidens who know that very ancient sort of religious martial arts. I mean, there's part of me that's quite excited by the prospect of a female Ashani actually being a live action, because she was badass. She was so badass in that RPG. Like, it'd be amazing to see that kind of point in time, you know, in live action. That'd be amazing.
I just don't think they've explored the Skywalkers enough. I like
Yeah.
maybe have her being like a hidden Skywalker. That no
Is
one's
there
ever-
anyone who we don't know who their dad is yet?
There we go. That's what I'm after, really, from Star Wars.
Well, actually,
Han Solo, he doesn't
I mean,
really seem to know.
we
his
don't
dad
actually
too
know
much.
who Anakin's dad is, do we? And you know what? I don't fucking want to.
Yeah, but I think this is really smart because Russian Doll might not have been the most popular TV series, but it was fucking
It
Brilliant.
should have been.
So
It was
good.
incredible.
and it was an incredibly well put together TV series. So get someone who's done something quite smart with the TV series, like sign them up to a contract, even if you don't know what you're going to do with them yet. Just sign them up to a contract, get them to do something Star Wars or Marvel related. I
Yeah.
suppose. That's really
Something like Russian Doll. It's a lot harder to put together than it seems at first glance. You
Oh
think,
my
you
God,
just do
yeah.
the same thing over and over again. Move one person over there, but it's
Oh,
such
don't
a
worry,
jigsaw that thing.
Don't worry, I die all the time. That bit in the lift where he just turns to her and says that, and she goes, "Really?"
This is your weekly reminder. This is your weekly reminder to. This is your weekly reminder to go for the whole verse if you want. This
Literally
is your
saying the
weekly.
first 2 lines before you rolled your eyes there.
It's your weekly reminder to go check out Lady Night the Brave, and she's done an excellent,
Yeah, her Russian Doll thing is really
yeah.
interesting.
really, really good. And,
There's an excellent.
Sense8 is the latest one she's put up.
Duncan, if you'd like to say something, it is okay.
What
Just sing the rest of the
What?
fucking song. I don't know what.
was Russian Doll
What's called
on?
up my arse? Hey, fucking hell.
It was
yeah,
on,
that's the question we're all
Netflix,
asking
wasn't it?
ourselves, isn't it?
Is it on Netflix?
It is.
It's
It's very
not.
good. It's
Yeah.
very good.
All right, we'll watch it.
It's well worth it.
so bingeable.
Yeah, you really, you're always hitting that next episode button.
Also,
Yeah.
random thing I didn't realise until afterwards, but do you know the film Empire Records?
Yes.
Do you remember the shoplifter Warren?
Yes.
He's the guy, the actor that played Warren is the guy that plays the homeless guy.
Oh,
A
really?
horse.
No shit, it's Brendan Sexton the Third. Like, fucking amazing.
Oh, that's really interesting.
I was
WandaVision.
like, hey, can I ask you something? Yeah, why don't you fuck off?
One division.
One division. They've stopped. They finished the filming of it. So that's definitely going to be a TV series we're going to get, and they reckon before the end of the year.
Okay, cool.
So that's nice.
Oh, the Marvel crossover.
Yeah.
Pairing.
That's the one.
Is it going to be a buddy comedy, do we think?
But so how's filming on Doctor Strange going? Because that's like the link between them, isn't it? Sorry, Dan just got our producers in his ear.
No, I just thought I heard something on the window.
All right.
I think I'm all right.
Creepy.
Yeah. I think it's okay.
Are you home alone?
No, there's other people here.
You know, but what's that behind
Dan's
you?
window's just going to go to static in a second.
That's how it works, right? I'm sorry, I was very distracted as I pooed myself. So what did you say?
I can't remember. What were we saying?
You said, isn't Doctor Strange 2 the link?
Yeah,
Yes.
so assuming they've finished the filming on this, but they'll want to release it in a way that ties into Doctor Strange. Or maybe they've just gone, you know what, fuck it, throw the release schedule up in the air and just put shit out when it's ready.
I think to a certain fuck. Now Tom's fucked off. What's going on? I think this is one of those ones that
his camera off.
I think so. Yeah, there he is. Hello.
I had to wipe my nose, and I didn't think anyone would want to see that.
I think with Black Widow and it just comes up saying Ewan McGregor on the thing. Black Widow and Winter Soldier and the Falcon. I think they link in very specifically in a very specific order. So I don't think you can release one without the other one.
Yeah, and I thought that was the same with WandaVision and Doctor Strange, but maybe they're a bit more
it might be, but I think you can probably get to the end of WandaVision and then it's like, and now it links into Doctor Strange, and this isn't going to be for another year and a half, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think it matters too much that you might have to wait a bit for Doctor Strange.
So I always thought it was going to link into the next Black Panther, because I sort of assumed that Shuri was going to bring Vision back to life, because she's obviously got him on a thumb drive somewhere, hasn't she?
Well, she might still do that.
Yeah,
like that's definitely seems very possible. Interesting to see. It does look weird, and I'm all for it. Marvel
Can I just ask a
doing
question?
interesting, different things.
Who doesn't really know sort of about the Vision character? How does he function without the stone?
he
He doesn't.
He's dead.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the moment, he is dead, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's
So
dead.
this is-
So he wasn't like
But they-
brought back with the
Yeah.
snap, because he was dead before it happened.
Yep, because they needed the stone to make the snap.
But they reckon that they reckon like these are real people. But towards the end of the film, they were figuring out a way they could remove the stone, weren't they? And like have him still be the Vision. Like he'd moved on from just being the stone and him being his own person. So I'd imagine that will be part of it. The other rumor I've heard is that the X-Men are going to be linked in with this. In the comics, the House of M storyline sees Wanda basically gradually driven insane with her brother and her dad protecting her whilst she's altering reality. So like she's giving everyone what she believes is what they want, and just completely changing reality to the point where that everyone figures it out and realizes this isn't real, so they need to solve it. So they go after her. They have to get through Magneto and Quicksilver to get to her. And then the last thing she whispers, like as they take her down, is no more mutants. And as a result, everyone, but I think it's 156, I might be wrong, mutants are no longer mutants. They're just humans. So you have ones that die because they're in mid-flight, for example. And the Blob is no longer the Blob. He's just this guy with really saggy skin and stuff like that. But there's still 156 mutants. So I think what they're going to do is a reverse version of that, where she's going to say mutants or something, and then all of a sudden we've got mutants and we've got the X-Men in there.
Mm-hmm.
Just an idea, though. I don't know. Critical Role fans, Mighty Nine getting their own graphic novel, an origin story.
Oh, is this
Starting with
Dark Horse,
Jester and
isn't
Caleb.
it?
Yes, indeed, yeah. July 2021, the second volume, so June 2021. But it's going to be, the first one's going to be Jester, and then I think the next one's going to be on Caleb,
Cool.
which is cool. The artwork looks fantastic as well. So.
So by the point that they are currently at live, because I'm still way back at like episode 20 or something, have they kind of done everyone's backstory reveal?
Kinda.
Sort of.
I mean, you just say yes or no. You don't need to be mysterious about it.
Who wouldn't they have done? Yeah, they have. Like we know about everyone's backstory. So yeah.
Yeah, to most an extent, but it's not complete. I would still say Caleb's has still got a few holes in it.
I thought they kind of answered a
wrapped
lot
up
in a
Caleb?
couple of weeks ago, yeah, or a few
I
weeks ago
suppose so.
with the dinner.
That is true, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, regardless, they're kind of, there is still some stuff they can delve into, but imagine like Caleb's isn't. I don't want to spoil anything, so, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There'll be very different graphic novels, I think. But there
Well,
we go.
compared to, I never managed to get the Vox Machina.
I've got part 1, but I haven't got part 2. I need to get that.
Because that was on Dark Horse as well.
It was on Dark Horse, yeah. Yes, indeed. Halo 4 is coming to the Master Chief Collection on PC, and as a result, it's getting a remastered campaign on both PC and Xbox Series X. You're going to be able to play at 120 frames per second as well.
Is it going to have any?
Which is fucking awesome.
Is
Nudity.
Is there any nudity in it?
It's already sort of got that.
Cortana gets progressively more nudie throughout the games.
Yeah, the more rampant she gets, the more nude.
That is a weird thing, that, isn't it? Like, just between from Halo to Halo 3, she's not got in for like an upgrade or anything, and suddenly her tits are 3 times the size they were to begin with, and she's got no clothes on. It's like
pretty well.
You had some 14-year-old boys on your focus groups, didn't you?
So she's supposed to. So Cortana was made from a flash clone of Dr. Halsey's brain. So she's meant to be a younger. So her appearance in the first Halo is as a young. In between that and number 2, she supposedly receives an upgrade that allows her to wirelessly transmit, because up until that point she's always had to be removed. But in Halo 2, Chief is able to wirelessly zap her about. So she gets an upgrade at some point there. And in the Halo 2 remaster, her new appearance is more in line with how she looks later, if you see what I mean. So I think they kind of retconned it a little bit. They sort of went, that's the upgrade when she started looking like this, rather than how she actually looked in Halo 2 before, because she doesn't get an upgrade between 2 and 3 because she's trapped in High Charity.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? Sorry, Tom.
I can't remember.
Incisive as ever.
Earlier on this evening, I walked up into my bedroom and I had one of those real senior moments where I was like, "What have I come in here for?
Smoke billowing up the stairs."
What did I come here for? It was really strange. And then I got back downstairs and I was like, "Oh, okay, I remember what it was." So I went back upstairs looking for a little pot of vape juice, which I then remembered I'd left downstairs. So very strange. I've got too much Vans stuff in my head at the moment.
We're getting they're recasting Cortana for the TV series, which has started filming.
Really?
Here's some more Halo news. Speaking of Cortana, originally meant to be Natasha McKellen. It's now going to be Jen Taylor, who did the voice of Cortana. She's going to play Cortana herself.
So, yes, okay, cool. No, that's awesome.
When we say play,
really cool.
is it mocapped or?
I think so. Yeah, I'm guessing.
Because Jen Taylor is not actually transparent.
No, I'm gonna have to explain acting to you here, aren't I?
I think it's asking a lot of an actor to, have makeup that makes them look like that. I don't think it's particularly the most dignified thing to do, is it really?
I also think it might be a bit much asking her to stand in Pablo Schreiber's hand, who's playing Master Chief
Yeah,
as well.
we're going to do it.
No, I just wondering if has there been any sort of has there been any like concept art of how it's gonna look? Because there's a bunch of different ways you
she'll
can
be
do it.
hanging from a rope, and he'll have to do perspective.
Yeah,
like-
she's really far away and dangling,
Yeah.
and he's got to.
I kind of got the feeling it might not be CGI, but it also might be a little bit more dignified than the game version is as well. So, because I think the only reason you get Natasha McKellan in the first place is because you want to use her as an actor rather than just as a voice actor. She's got a very distinctive look, and as it turns out, Jen Taylor looks a little bit like her as well. So I think it'll kind of work, but
Also,
I think it.
I do think it works. It works better that way. It's almost like she's the voice. This is, you know, think of her as like a Last of Us character. You always get Troy Baker in, even to mocap. It doesn't matter what it looks like afterwards, you know.
Yeah. I think it will be. I don't think it'll be necessarily CGI. I mean, obviously there'll be some CGI in there, but I think it won't be a skin tight suit. I think it will be like a slightly less revealing outfit, maybe.
Yeah,
Well,
but
the
like
things they
sort
can
of
do with computers
clothes
these
that
days.
are actually
Exactly.
doing something.
I remembered what I was going to ask you guys. Dan, you seem to know about this kind of thing. Halo 4, are we looking at a graphical upgrade?
Yeah,
So
apparently
it's not an engine upgrade. It's more just a graphical, like an overhaul. Like
Yeah.
Or
with new
after
cutscenes and
those
stuff?
weird.
I don't think the cutscenes. No, I think like Halo 2, they went all in on it, didn't they?
Well,
That
both
is, yeah.
that and like both Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition
Yeah.
and Halo 2 Anniversary Edition, they, like you say, they went all in and they created those hidden
Yeah, those-
terminals.
Those
Yeah,
Halo
that was
2
really good.
redone cinematics were incredible.
They were ace, weren't they?
They were really good. I'd love to see 3 get that kind of treatment.
Yes, I
Yeah.
would too.
Long overdue, I think. But yeah.
The
So
game
we had-
the game still looks gorgeous when you play it though. Halo 3.
Yeah,
Don't it just?
three does look good. 3 really benefits from every time they've kind of tweaked it for new console release as well. So when the Series X version came out, it looked fucking great. The PC version came out, it looked excellent as well. And I haven't played it because they haven't upgraded it yet on the Series X, but I would imagine that's going to look pretty spectacular as well. Probably in line with the PC version. Mass Effect news. NZXT have launched a limited edition N7 PC case.
It's not the news I thought you were going to say, but I'm still excited.
No, I know. I thought it was funny. It looks very, very cool. And if I had $200 to spend on a PC case, then I'd consider it.
Holy shit balls!
And that's all the news, right? That was
No, it's
that was the
not.
reason. That was the reason. That was the reason we had the Mass Effect on the. You know, I'm joking.
It's a good one.
Yeah, Mass Effect Legacy Edition coming out next year, announced on N7 Day.
Yeah, I'm furious about this.
Why?
I've already bought that game twice, and I'm going to buy it again because I'm
Okay,
an
can I
idiot.
just ask you one question, Russ?
Yeah.
How many times have you bought Skyrim?
Oh,
Yeah.
like far too
Resident
many.
Evil 4?
Far too many. This is just. It's sort of that grudging, like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to fucking buy it, you bastards. And it's. Is the gunplay going to feel any better in Mass Effect 1? Probably not. But it will look slightly more shiny.
Do you know, that's how I felt about Superhot very recently.
Hmm.
I was like, it's on the Switch and it's in the sale. You bastards.
Fine, you
I'm going to
shit.
spend £7 on this, for fuck's sake. And then
Did you get
it's
the new
also
levels,
down the toilet. I didn't get them free. No. Are they any
They
good?
were. I think they were. Yeah, I think they were on Game Pass. I might be wrong.
Oh, hey?
So this new
I might be wrong.
Mass Effect Legacy thing. So there is. It's
Legendary Edition. Sorry, my
1, 2, and 3, not Andromeda.
Yeah. Not Andromeda.
And it's a remastering, isn't it?
Yeah.
So exactly the same game, but
However,
graphic overhaul.
they have
Yeah.
hinted at gameplay updates to
Yeah.
bring the gameplay into a more modern age, which makes me feel
Yeah.
like potentially the first Mass Effect might be something you can now go back to and play without going, I don't want to have to swap my armor out every fucking
Yeah, I mean,
2 minutes.
if they could take the inventory management system alone from the second one and put it on the first one, it would be a million times better.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Yeah.
ideally, even better if they could take the shooting mechanics from the second one and put them into the first one.
Yeah,
Because, like, especially at first, like when you're shooting stuff in the first Mass Effect, it's like you feel so disconnected from it. You just sort of feel like you've vaguely told Shepard to fire a gun, and they just sort of go. It's really, really janky.
Yeah, it is. It's hard. It's a hard game to revisit. It is a very hard game to revisit.
But to be honest, it still looks really, really good. But the mechanics are pretty dreadful a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was a hangover from Dragon Age, wasn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, the endless like mixing and matching armor, converting stuff down to fucking gel, and
Yeah.
just
Swapping out little like sockets in and out of guns.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's plus 5%. No, hang on, that's plus 6%. Right, gel. Right, okay, what's this one? Yeah. Oh, clip. Oh no, 25.
Yeah.
30%
You realise you
clip
spent
cooldown,
45 minutes doing something that could be far more effectively done in Excel. You're not having an excellent gaming experience.
And then back then, it was usually around the time where it'd be like your mum would call you for dinner. And you're just like, I haven't actually even played anything. Like I've literally just
I've been doing my admin
loadout. Because that's the thing. Like I always set it to automatically manage the loadout of my team, and I never wanted to get involved with that. It was just like, you guys handle that. I'm too focused on what Shepard is wearing at the moment.
So yeah, it's all remastered. So Mass Effect Legendary Edition gathers together all single-player based content, all DLC, Mass Effect, Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, all promo weapons, armor packs, all remastered, optimized for 4K Ultra HD.
I mean, I'm going to have to sit down and play them all again.
I know. I wonder what ending they're going to use.
Well, they'll package in the sort of the redone ending, won't they? They'll because that was DLC.
Yeah.
That third ending, but of course the proper ending of Mass Effect 3, which is of course the ending of the Citadel expansion, is obviously going to be included free. So once you get to that point, just play that and stop at the end after they've taken the picture of everyone looking really happy. Then that's it. You never need to play Mass Effect ever again. Because that was brilliant. The Citadel DLC was the perfect.
I don't think I ever played that one.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's like mistaken identity, a doppelganger Shepard, and then a big party at a cracking like sort of swag pad that Shepard's been given by Captain Anderson on the Citadel with all of your crew members and stuff, and it's just brilliant. You can just spend a couple of hours wandering around this party listening into people's conversations. Like it's ace. It's
Nice.
just brilliant.
But you say you'll never have to play Mass Effect again. Segway, Daniel, hit it.
What?
There's rumours of a new Mass Effect game.
Oh yeah, there's a new Mass Effect game potentially. Well, no, they're definitely working on a new
Fucking
Mass Effect
bad.
game. They've got a team of veterans working on it at the same time as working on the new Dragon Age game.
I love how they've said, yeah, everyone that worked on Andromeda, we have killed them. This is none of them.
So we're getting the Anthem team on.
Yeah, we have killed or re-educated the Andromeda team.
They've been sent to an intensive re-education camp.
Is basically Andromeda being cancelled, and the follow-on it's going to lead on from Mass Effect 3. Ignore Andromeda. It's just bad.
Well, I mean, the good thing about Andromeda is it
retroactively
happens.
cancelled.
It happens 200 years in the future, so
Yeah,
You can safely ignore it.
Different system. Like you can just go, that didn't happen. Yeah, bin off those cat fuckers.
They were so visibly waiting for people to be really excited about it, so that Andromeda 2 could hit, and then they were just, what the result was. I mean, it's great looking. It's a great looking game. There's a lot to do in it. It's just.
And people have said though that like
Just suffers from
it
not
kind
being
of
Shepard
if
related.
you revisit it now, it's got lots of patches and tweaks and things like that. And if you put all of them in, it's still an unplayable pile of shit.
There are planets that are fucking massive, and I don't know why, because all it meant was you had to drive further, like between one spot and another. And it's like, just make it smaller and easier to get to, because it's really boring. That was
I say bring back the whole launching probes in Mass Effect 2, because that was hilarious, especially when the Zero Punctuation episode showed that, but it was literally just him. It's like, here was the Normandy, and it was just firing dildos at planets.
I think that's it news-wise.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big one, isn't it, Mass Effect?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
hang
the
on,
big-
Duncan's got news.
Yeah, well, they've had to suspend The Witcher. I keep on getting Witcher season 2 notifications, and Henry Cavill left the Lake District to go back to filming, and then they've had to suspend filming.
Boo.
Boo.
Yeah. I
Why
want,
did he leave the Lake District?
want some more Witcher.
We went on holiday to the Lake District, I think. Oh,
But
well,
why did he leave the Lake District?
to go back to filming
Oh, but then they cancelled filming.
because people had COVID.
Did he go back to the Lake District?
I haven't got a clue. My Google notifications haven't told me.
I love the Lake
Well, he-
District.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. The other news is, have you heard Bruce Willis is going to be in a new film?
He's in like
called-
50 a year.
Yeah, I know, but there's another sci-fi, which to me sounds maybe a wee bit doomy, but I'm not totally sure. It's called Breach, and it's
I don't know why I found that so funny.
oh, it was called
Breach!
Anti-Life. Apparently, the original working title was Anti-Life, but they called it Breach, and it's a bit shooty, and
Here's what's going to happen with that film.
it's not probably going to
It
be
will
very
never
good.
see a cinema.
No.
You
Like,
basically say that about all
Even if
films now.
cinemas were open, thriving right now, that is a straight-to-DVD Seagal jobby. Yeah.
Okay, so Breach.
Incidentally, the lockdown period has been one of the easiest times to watch Steven Seagal's entire back catalogue. There's a lot more of it than you think. Like, the stuff you see in bargain bins is barely
He releases
scratching
like a
the
film every
surface.
week, man.
Man, you could literally create an entire YouTube series about his back catalogue, like reviewing an episode a day, and you still
So-
wouldn't be done by the end of the year.
Would you like the synopsis of Breach?
Please.
It follows a ship of over 300,000 passengers as they leave Earth on their way to the aptly titled New Earth. Along the way, the group is attacked by an alien force which looks to be acting as a parasite of sorts to the passengers, turning them into howling black-tongued monsters. Bruce Willis will play Clay Young, a man who is used to space travel and is ready to blast these aliens back to where they came from.
Clay Young.
Sorry, Clay Young, what he's made of and what he's not.
Anyway, there you go. I thought,
Well, that sounds fucking shit.
I mean, it does sound a bit bobbins.
Does. I mean, that's like sci-fi horror film 101.
Yeah.
Little bit of mystery, little
Yeah.
bit of tension, little bit of antagonism.
I'll tell you what.
We'll have a little watch-along party with
the
that
good-
then.
He'll be wearing.
I was
a
about to say,
vest.
the good news is that I'll never know because there's no way I'll watch that shit. Like, it's just.
You will watch it. You're more likely to watch it than any of us here.
Okay, then none of us are watching it. That's quite handy.
It sounds like a TMT OOH commentary episode in the making.
Yeah, we haven't done one of those
Breach.
for a while. We need to do a. I can't work out
Okay.
how we couldn't do it on here, but we should do a commentary track at some point.
Okay. Do we want to do what we're watching, or do you want to have a brief? Do you want to hear briefly about the Xbox?
Let's. Well, I mean, look, we're almost up to an hour, so let's hear about the Xbox, wrap it up, and then we'll do a little bit at the beginning of the next episode what we've been up to.
Well, we won't have time, but we can do it at some other point. That's fine.
If we
Alright,
didn't do
cool.
podcast admin now, we could probably squeeze it in.
Well,
I can-
we've done too much admin now.
too late.
Let me make a note of that.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
didn't
make a note of
spend
that.
so long talking about slots and M2.
Can we just
thing
keep?
is-
Can we keep that to any other business, please? Dan, your point of motion?
Yeah, okay. So the Xbox Series X, I've got one, and it's really, really good. Like, there's not much I can say. There isn't that many titles out.
Keep going.
Okay. There isn't that many titles out on at the moment. That is the biggest issue. The biggest complaint people seem to have with it is that there is a giant Halo Infinite-sized hole in the Xbox Series X launch, and that is a very fair criticism. That being said, I'm quite happy to go back and play games that I already enjoyed that I haven't actually sat down with for a while and played, like Forza Horizon 4, playing at 60 FPS, like optimized for 4K. The game is freaking beautiful, and like for racing games, 60 FPS is just incredible. I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is probably the first next-gen-y game that I've played, and it just looks amazing. Like,
do you know what I think would look awesome? It would be Jedi Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order. We missed that in the news, so that's come to Game Pass now. Because EA, if you've got Game Pass Ultimate, EA Play is now part of Game Pass.
Hooray!
So that's one of the games that they've said is come out this week. So Fallen Order needs to be optimized, but I think that's a matter of time because that will look really, really good.
That would look beautiful. Best looking Star Wars game of the last 2 years.
Squadrons is pretty good.
The previous 2 years.
I'll run quickly through the games I've played and tell you the effect it's had on them. So I've played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is really, really good. Like, the game itself is good.
Yeah, reviews are through the roof.
Yeah, it's well worth playing if you get a chance. I have played Borderlands 3. I played it split screen because I wanted to play that with Sarah. And that is a game that looked awful on the last gen when you played split screen. And now they've finally done something about it, and you can do vertical as well as horizontal split screen, and it makes it a much more playable experience. I've played Gears 5, which just looks incredible. That game looked really good anyway, but 60 FPS, the optimized 4K ray tracing, it looks amazing. The game looks fantastic. I have played a lot of Forza, unsurprisingly. I looked at how much time I've put into Forza. I've put 12 days into Forza. I love that game. I've now completed every race on the island, the main island, and now I'm starting playing online, which is like the worst thing that could have happened. I don't think, is there anything else that's... Oh, Ori. Ori just looks like a completely different game, like with the HDR and the 4K. It looks absolutely fantastic. So, yes, if you're quite happy to wait for something that will catch your eye, but I am more than happy with my purchase. And I would imagine the people that pick up their PS5 tomorrow will be in the same boat. So, good on them. That's
Even
about
if
it.
they're
Like,
wrong.
Even if they're wrong, exactly, yeah. Like, it's just... people that are saying it doesn't feel next gen, I no idea what they're talking about, because it definitely feels next gen. They feel like completely different games. It feels like you're playing on a PC a lot of the time, to be fair, but yeah, it looks and plays fantastic. The console itself is gorgeous, I think. Apparently you can't hover a ping pong ball above the exhaust vent on the top. People have tried. But you know, if that's the biggest problem, then that's not the end of the world, really, is it, I suppose?
You know what? It does sound like there's a big Halo hole.
It's huge. Like,
Massive.
If they release Halo with this console, because like it's already pretty 50-50 with this and the PS5. If Halo comes out with this console and it's even reasonably good, then Xbox just completely win this launch lineup. And because it's just not there.
What is the latest on Halo Infinite?
The lead designer left.
Yeah,
Because
well,
they shipped
after they everyone savaged those
Right,
release
so
clips and things.
yeah, I didn't like. The more I look at them, the more I think, what is this game? Do they even know what this game is? So they've shipped in some veterans to not like war veterans, to
veterinary surgeons.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
to
Good
go
call.
to go and make sure this game works. I don't think we'll see it till the end of next year.
Yeah, it depends sort of how much of a fundamental retooling it's having.
I think I'd imagine from the ground up. would
Yeah,
be
I get. I
thinking.
mean, considering the backlash from E3,
Hmm.
it would take a very brave game studio, I think, to even try and pass that off as finished, halfway finished, or I think there's a major retooling coming.
I agree.
Keep the
I
same
think
story though.
Don't know.
Who knows? We don't really even know what the story is.
Yeah.
Except for Master Chief was floating around for a bit.
Floating around with that fella.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Floating with fellas. Sounds awesome to me. Does anyone else have any news that they'd like to share, or are we done?
Nah.
No?
Okay, well on that resounding.
I'm gonna put in some admin. Sorry. So next week we're gonna start our World Cup of TV series theme tunes.
Good one.
So what we need from anyone listening to this or watching this, and it'll be all over the social medias, is your favorite TV theme tunes, and we'll compile them as part of the ones that we're going to pick for the World Cup of theme tunes. How it's going to work is on Instagram and Twitter, we'll do probably daily polls, or maybe we'll just leave them all up for a week. And then we will come into it with an episode next week, announcing the 64 chosen theme tunes for the daily theme tunes lists.
And I think we should probably just say that from a rules point of view, it doesn't just have to be kids' TV shows. We're talking about any TV show, any
American,
theme song,
British,
American, British, wherever.
Where are we standing on TV theme tunes that are just a song from a band? Is that okay? Is that admissible?
Yeah, I think so. It's still a theme tune, isn't it?
Yep. Just wanted to clarify.
Makes sense.
Because Friends.
I was more thinking The Office.
I was thinking the Royal Family.
Oh, even better,
There
yeah.
we go. See, we're just firing already. It's going. It's going. It's
And
dynamite.
wasn't the Long Way Round, Tom, you'll know this, wasn't that a Stereophonics song?
It was a Stereophonics song, but I think it was written for the
The Long Way
TV
Round,
show.
yeah. It was the B-side to Dakota.
Got the sun in my face.
Yeah. And
Sleeping rough on the road.
Tom's already come up with some belters prior to this, but we'll talk about them next week, maybe.
All I'll say is check out Charlie Borman's Race to Dakar. That theme song, fucking brilliant. Yeah, there was definitely no dope smoked while they were writing that shit.
Smoking doobies.
Yeah, smoking doobies and having fun, being cool.
That's it. I'm done now, Tom. Sorry.
Right. Thank you very much for watching. If you were watching, we're going to say goodbye to all you YouTube streamers. If you're listening to us on the podcast or whatever catcher that you were listening to it on, thank you very much for listening. Your listening will be rewarded with 10 pieces of gold for your Dungeons and Dragons character. If you want to interact with us and get involved on any of the stuff that we've got coming up, including, as Dan said, the World Cup of your favourite TV show theme songs, please do hit us up on any of our social media feeds. The handle is @TMTOOH, and you can pick us up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. There's loads of other pods that you can listen to on our entire back catalogue on Spotify, especially I'd say is like the chosen platform. You can listen on SoundCloud and various others as well. And on that note, we're going to say goodbye to Duncan.
Goodbye.
We're going to say goodbye to Dan.
Oh, goodbye.
And we're going to say goodbye to Russ.
Ta-ra, Chuck.
And I am Tom. So goodbye, and on that note, let's cue the music.